It was just regular. It was regular. And for them to be able to follow Malcolm Jamal all the way to the airport, like it's like they got him going into the actual like, and it ain't like
Nobody's
commercial.
paying attention. No, yeah, nobody's paying attention.
Hey, what is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video, so y'all already know what's going on. All right, y'all. Now, this Sunday, we are back to talk about Malcolm Jamal Warner, right? Now, more than likely, this will be the last video we do on his death and his alleged drowning while trying to save his daughter. Now, we already compared it to Naya Rivera and how she drowned allegedly trying to save her son. She was 33 years old, and by far probably the best comparison of the way that both of them allegedly died. But we know what is really going on, right? Now, I got this photo on the screen because I heard a podcast with Jaguar Wright on it, and I figured she would come out and talk about Malcolm because, you know, this death was one of those shockwave kind of deaths, out of left field, out of nowhere, very much so harvesting a lot of energy. You know, this was probably the biggest out of the ones that we've gotten, right, recently. Just the impact that it's had on people and how many people are still discussing his death. And to this day, and when I put this video out, it'll be a week later, right? Now, Jaguar Wright brought up a very good point that I've heard no one else talk about. And I haven't, reacted to anything with Jaguar Wright on the channel in a while. But she said something that made a lot of sense. And I myself didn't even think about this point. And it starts with this picture right here. This photo that was took exactly a week on Sunday before, they announced his death. Well, I think they announced it Monday, but he died Sunday, Costa Rica. Now, the photo was taken on July 13th on a Sunday. So, you already get some numerology toward the sacrifice before it even started, basically, right? But without me trying to explain the point that I want y'all to hear, I'm going to play these clips from Jaguar Wright, let her explain it. And we're going to come back and talk about this a little bit more because I feel like this definitely, needs to be expounded on because I really didn't think about this. And I think it's a very good point that ties together how this just came out of nowhere and how they set this up and was ready to, push this kind of energy on us and harvest the energy from this ritual. So with that being said, y'all, check this out.
It was just regular. It was regular. And for them to be able to follow Malcolm Jamal all the way to the airport, like it's like they got him going into the actual like, and it ain't like
Nobody's
commercial.
paying attention. No, yeah, nobody's paying attention to how intrusive that is, to how careful that is. He wasn't on his way to film a movie. He wasn't on his way to go do anything. He was going on a regular flight. This wasn't a nothing. This is nothing that paparazzi should have been involved in. But then again,
Right.
neither was Javon Hadley's case. Javon Hadley's case was not a case that should have been being followed by paparazzi at all. But as
Right.
we're starting to learn and as we're starting to see, there's a lot more of that involved than we might want to believe. When's the last time they covered anything of Malcolm Jamal Warner?
I grew up on the number one television show in the freaking world.
You know, he had that new podcast coming out.
Everyone, welcome to our first episode of Nah, Not All Hood.
How many of these people was promoting that? So, like, he did a whole interview with Keisha Knight Pulliam.
I think this is probably about to be my favorite.
Already.
No.
I ain't see anybody talking about that. Not at all. And it's wild because the second that I heard about it, I knew it was wrong. I felt it in my bones. I felt like he had been taken. Like I said, I knew Malcolm. He was very healthy. He was always in great shape. He was a strong swimmer. I do not see him putting himself in a position where he would have been gotten, overtaken by anything. They said his daughter was with him,
Malcolm's 8-year-old daughter was also rescued from the water.
but his wife wasn't. But nobody knows anything. The stories have changed. I don't know how many times in 72 hours. Things keep changing, keep flipping over.
And the other man who was in critical condition, how is he doing?
My understanding is that he's recovered and he's fine.
And now all of a sudden, all anybody is talking about, oh, in honor of Jamal, we're gonna sell this shirt, we're gonna sell this shirt, we're gonna sell this shirt, but who's getting the proceeds?
Now, I did it for you. This is the last video from TMZ of Malcolm Jamal. This is him in the Atlanta airport. So this is what Jaguar Wright was talking about. This is one of the last photos of him. Now, I ain't gonna lie. This a little spooky. Once again, I did it for y'all again. And I'm gonna challenge y'all to go on Google, type in Malcolm Jamal Warner and airport. Not one single photo comes up of him in the airport, pictures taken by paparazzi or anything. You're going to see one photo of him that was took by a fan. And I think that fan had an LA hat on. Might have been burgundy. Or Jamal hat on burgundy. You're going to see one. That's in the simple Google search. I challenge y'all. Google Malcolm Jamal Warner and the airport photo, anything. You're not going to find nothing. All you're going to see are these two. Mind you, this man is way outside of his true fame. Like when you could be walking down the street. You have to be a fan of Malcolm Jamal Warner. Like, I think that's what Jaguar Wright was trying to say as well. He was on a regular flight. This man was going to Costa Rica, traveling to his death, basically, on a family vacation. He wasn't going for no movie. He wasn't going for no commercial. He wasn't going for no show. He wasn't going to go meet up with other famous people. Nothing. Malcolm Jamal is at a point in his life where you really have to have been a fan of him and the Cosby Show and other things he did afterwards with, Malcolm and Eddie. You got to be a fan. Like, a lot of kids these days, they have no idea who he is. They'll walk right past him on the street. Maybe unless you saw his photo or something. Like, oh, yeah, I remember him. But we're just talking about the relevancy of his career now, right? And so Jaguar Wright was saying, how is Johnny on the spot, as she said, TMZ, how they got these photos? Okay, maybe you want to say, because obviously whoever was recording his video was kind of like sneaking a video of him. It was either paparazzi or somebody recording him that sent it in to TMZ for some money. Who knows? I don't know how that even works, right? Let's say it was paparazzi, which it probably was. Why are they there? Why are they following Malcolm Jamal? This man going on a regular flight to Costa Rica. And remember, this photo, same shirt, same hat. This is also paparazzi taking a picture of him arriving in Costa Rica. These are two separate photos, y'all. The first one, he's in the Atlanta airport. This one, he's in Costa Rica. Make this make sense. By now we should have done seen a couple. If they following him like this, I'm pretty sure this ain't the first flight he done got on in 5 years or so. I'm pretty sure he done been on a few flights And we ain't seen no photos, TMZ running up, yo, Malcolm Jamal. But they just so happened to get a short video of him in the Atlanta airport, and then they catch a photo of him arriving to Costa Rica on the 13th, a Sunday. Then he dies next Sunday. Oh man. Oh man, this is spooky right here, y'all. This is what they did. This was a part of it. There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. They were literally documenting him, following him before his death. That's what this is. I'm challenging y'all. Go ahead and go find an airport picture of TMZ taking a photo of this man in the last couple of years. I couldn't find it. If y'all find one, boom, y'all prove me wrong. But this is what Jaguar Wright was meaning. Followed the man who took this photo. If paparazzi was in Costa Rica at the airport, then hopped on the plane with this man or something, yo, who took this photo? And whose face is this blurred out? Maybe it's a regular person, I don't know. This is insane, y'all. And how did TMZ get these photos? Get the information so quick? That we're going to go in a little bit more with Jaguar Wright. She was talking about it a little bit deeper on a podcast. Also talked a little bit more about TMZ. So with that being said, y'all, we'll jump into this clip. We'll come back and wrap the video up, all right? Check this out.
Public figures, their lives, their details, and use it to make money. And meanwhile, you don't ever hear them promoting what these people were really about. No, it's just that moment. And now here we are. The distraction has become completely confused. TMZ don't know what to talk about. And now all of a sudden they got footage. The question is what law enforcement agency handed that over to you? Because you were not following Malcolm Jamal Warner, which means you were able to get into either some kind of TSA camera or something. Like, how are these people always Johnny on the spot and nobody's ever really calling them out on it? You know, personally, me, I'm still grappling with the notion of how he passed away. What I am trying to get to the bottom of is, like, that got to the news really fast.
Yeah.
Like, we don't cover international news like that here. Like, I can't remember. Like, it got here really, really, really fast. And
they said it happened on the 20th, Costa Rican time. It was about 2 p.m. in Costa Rica time. So I guess where are they at, Costa Rica? If Costa Rica is like specific
South
time
America
almost, right?
Is it?
But yeah,
I thought Costa Rica.
Yeah, Costa Rica is Central America.
Okay.
Yeah. But it hit like it actually was like what 2 o'clock. So they're like an hour ahead. An hour ahead of a Pacific Standard, and they're 2 hours behind New York.
So like Central Time,
right? Yeah,
or
2 hours
Mountain Time.
behind Eastern. 2 hours behind Eastern. I think it's 2 hours behind. Yeah, but
yeah.
Oh, hour behind. But anyway, it's like it hit like
like a bullet. And I'm just like, it was an accidental drowning. I can't see why the authorities would have been like, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's not like he was there working on a film. It's not like he was there working on a movie. He was there on a private family vacation.
It's almost like the Left Eye thing.
Yeah.
But Left Eye, yeah, that's a whole nother man. See, like I said, that's why I said I don't want to dive into that just yet. But yeah,
I don't want to dive into it just yet. But the simple fact that news could make it from a place where, like, it's not like it was a plane crash. It's not like it was a boat. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, how were they able to get the information, from the authorities there? And it was labeled this. Like, how long was he out there in the water? Like, and I think that's the thing that people really don't pay attention to, how information gets to us the way it gets to us and why that information, it would have made more sense if we had heard about it this weekend. You know what I mean? This coming weekend. But for that to happen, how long was he out there? How long did it take for them to find him? You know, he was like, and then boom, TMZ's all over it. And then boom, they got the footage of him on his way to Costa Rica. Like it's like they're sitting here marketing pain and marketing trauma, and nobody's asking why.
Now look, y'all, I'm not even trying to stretch it, but you can't tell me that it's very eerie that TMZ are the last to get photos of Malcom, essentially the last to take the photos, because more than likely it was paparazzi that took both of these photos. And then they're the first to report his death. Like she said, kind of got to question how this information was made available to TMZ so fast. It's looking like they already knew his demise was on the way. I legitimately think they followed him to capture these last photos. She said it perfect. It's almost like they were marketing his death afterwards. They had something to show you of a last photo, something to show you of a last video. And it just happened to be on the trip to his demise. They followed this man to his death just to have something to give to the people. I mean, think about how demonic this is. It's like they want to dangle it in your face, because if we didn't have these last photos, last videos, you know, the video that he last recorded and put out on his daughter's birthday with the flower in his ear, it's like if we didn't have those, there wouldn't be as much of an emotional attachment. Now the people who don't really think about it the way that we do, they're sad, they feel very hurt, which is nothing wrong with that, because, you know, the man was out the way. You know what I'm saying? So the ones that don't think the way that we do, they are just fully harvesting that energy, fully harvesting it. But I think this is very spooky and eerie, because I really think they knew he was going to his death, and they followed him in order to have these last photos, these last videos to put out and market this death. Maybe even capitalize on it somehow, some way, you know, as in monetizing it somehow, some way. Some money is being made off this man's death. You know what I'm saying? I can't even imagine like the royalties that he probably was still receiving from the show. I don't know. I'm not sure how it goes, considering it was so long ago, back in the 80s and early 90s. But I mean, he was still worth, I think, over $5 million. I thought this was a very good point to bring up, as far as how, you know, TMZ are the last to take photos of him, get these photos of him and videos of him, and then they're the first to put the news out, as always. So just let you know how everything is ran in Hollywood. I really can't believe it. When I heard this, I actually didn't even have an intention on doing another video, but I thought I had to get this one out there, because really not trying to stretch the topic, it just makes so much sense. And I never thought about it in the previous two videos, because we were busy tying it back to other deaths that were similar as far as how they put it out. So it's basically just recognizing a pattern, you know, and this side of it just makes it spooky. Like they were following this man, you know, capturing his last moments just to sell it back to America. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wicked, y'all. This is pretty wicked, man. So yeah, you know, this a shorter than usual video on Sunday. Like I said, I don't want to just keep, you know, repeating some of the same things with the topic. This definitely probably be the last video on him, unless something just comes out of left field and just tells us everything we need to know. Yeah, man, y'all already know what's going on, man. We've been dropping, I think, every day for like 8 or 9 days now. I don't know. I may not drop a video tomorrow. May just give it like a little day or two off or something. You know, unless I'm feeling a little frisky on some information. But yeah, man, for future videos, y'all already know, man. Y'all can always request what y'all want to see on the channel. You know, I'm in that mode regardless, man. So with that being said, y'all, it's Black Balloon, and I'm gonna see y'all soon. All right, I'm out.